Welcome to the Bridge is Hip Hop CEO Talk. Today I got my guest, the one and only man, Mr. Man Robinson. Thank you for joining me today, man.
Thanks for having me, Nick.
Man, it's definitely a pleasure. I'm one of those guys that like to start off my show and just give my flowers to my people, man, while we actually living. You know what I'm
Thank you.
saying? Like I met you, we was just sitting there talking in the lobby, man. I met you almost 8 years ago, and wow,
Yeah,
wow,
yeah.
wow, man. Just CEO talk, man. I built this platform just to be able to have just real black power, positive, you know, communication with my brothers that's doing amazing things, and I just want to give you flowers, man, while you're here. I'm super proud of you. I like
Appreciate you.
everything. I share everything I can that you put up, because I always tell people, man, it don't cost nothing to share, bro. It,
Right.
it don't cost nothing to support, you know. And then if you have it monetized, monetization wise, you could support. But man, just for my guests, and the people that's tuning into the CEO talk, can you just tell me how you got started?
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you that in a minute. I want to give you these same flowers back
All
though,
right, man, I appreciate it.
because I met
Appreciate it.
you and your partner Fields 8 years ago, like you said, and me and him was just talking in the parking lot. We all kept going, and we all, you know what I'm saying, did what we came to do.
Yeah, man.
So same flowers back to you, my
Man, I
brother.
appreciate it, man. And that's
Yeah,
and that's honestly how it's supposed to be, man,
yeah,
because you've always had an amazing brands, and I always tell people, man, it don't matter, what you're doing, you can always learn if you just listen, pay
yeah,
attention. Like I wasn't even like interested in the whole film world till I saw a brother doing it,
yeah.
and then giving me an opportunity, you know what I'm saying, like to have my first, just introduction to actually getting some lines
Yeah.
and learning them and understand what being on set, man. But yeah, man, tell my guests, how you got into the whole film world, because I'm interested in it myself.
Well, I think we all are into storytelling. All of us, everybody in the world, because if you ever remember, uh, somebody asked you if you had three wishes, what would you do,
Yeah,
right? So as you telling them this, and you thinking about this, you actually have a story in your head. You're not just telling them; you could actually see it in your
yeah,
head. So we've been telling stories our whole life based off of that. But far as actually producing films, I got into it when I realized that it was digital. When the digital world met the art world, I said, "Oh, okay, it's over." Because
gotcha.
I've already was poetic. Like I could write. I've always been able to write like songs and poems and things. So when it all collided together, I said, "Whoa." You know what I'm saying? And I was influenced by a couple other people who actually did it before me,
Yeah,
and I felt like it was something that I knew I could do.
gotcha. It's like because I met you on the set of Turn,
Yeah,
and I know since then and before then you've done several projects, but that was like my introduction to uh, being able to be close to someone that
hmm,
actually was in the film world and bootstrapping it and building with what he had. And a lot of people don't understand, um, because now it's always when you get to that level of excellence that people want to say, God, man, I just wish, but people don't realize when you bootstrapping your ideas and you're trying to brand build yourself to get to the next level, like what it took, so for aspiring directors and people that actually want to get into the film world, could you kind of just elaborate to them like some of the obstacles that you went through? Because I kind of do that in music, but
hmm.
today I'm all about MR today.
Thank you, man. I
Yeah,
appreciate that.
yeah.
Appreciate that. I um I
Tell it like it
I
is,
tell it like
man.
it is, man.
The
I
people want to know, and I think they deserve to know, because a lot of times, man, they see the Porsches and the Benz and all the materialistic things that came from the fruits of our labor, and it just didn't happen like yesterday.
it's crazy because we could be successful. People like we could be successful whatever we want, and that goes for everybody.
Yeah,
It's just let's stop saying we want to be this or we aspire to be this. Let's just do it, right?
yeah,
But I mean, it goes back to the day I decided to leave. I had stores, computer stores back in Michigan. So that's when I found out that it all collided when I had a computer store. But I woke up at 1 a.m. And I just told the story on just a minute ago, but I woke up and I said, I'm leaving. I'm from Detroit. I had a bubble in the tire, I had a cracked windshield, and I had no driver's license. Tinted windows, and I drove from Detroit all the way to Atlanta through 6 states. And I said, if I make it, I'm staying. If I get pulled over along the way, I'm taking my black ass back to the crib. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
And I had my mama's obituary on the seat because I had asked a bunch of my dudes to ride with me. Who want to ride with me? They all talking all that rah-rah. Anybody want to go? So I took my mama's obituary, put it on the seat, and I had stopped at the store and bought 6 energy drinks. You know what I'm saying? And that's what got me. I didn't stop. I didn't go take no nap or nothing. I made it to this bitch, and I said, okay.
So you didn't waste no money.
No,
Yeah.
no, I ain't had no L's, bro. And the reason I had an L because it was drink driving. So they're going to jail if I get pulled over. You know what I'm saying? It ain't no one of them. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't care though, bro. It's not one bone in my body made me say I don't nothing. I looked at the tire. I seen the big ass bubble stick. I didn't give a fuck. Nigga, I left. Real shit. I said if I make it, I'm staying.
See, that's what I call that getting out the mud, man.
Yeah.
That passion and desire to jump. You know, one of the best books that I read was the Steve Harvey book. You know, and it was Jump. You know, you got to take that leap. You know what I'm saying? Like you got to be able to take that leap. And I believe that true successful people, when they do become successful, and they get to that next plateau of what they're attempting to accomplish, at some point in their story, they had to take that leap. For me, it was like being in the corporate world, working for a millionaire, who I looked at as a millionaire. He always said he wasn't, but I saw the balance sheet.
Yeah, he was lying.
I know what he was paying me, and I'm like, okay, if he can pay me this, you know, I got to be worth more. And but for me, leaving that comfort was my leap, because I was trying to build at the same time I was trying to keep that comfort.
Yeah.
But I wasn't able to really get to that next level until I left that comfort. So it's kind of like my testimony had to be discomfort in order for me to actually become comfortable.
Exactly.
Because being comfortable is different than comfort.
Yeah.
And that's basically me making my own way through real estate, through starting companies and et cetera, and just continuing to take risks. And that sounds like exactly what you did, you know, by making this trip to Atlanta. So once you got to Atlanta, like, what were some of the things, you know, that started polishing your vision together?
Well, let's back up a little bit.
Okay.
I got that exact story too
Okay.
that you got. I was working at the dealership, you know what I'm saying, car dealership, selling cars in Detroit. And, you know, we make 100-something, you know what I'm saying? Years ago, that was
you making that bread too?
Yeah, it was 100-something. And one day, the owner came out and he cut everybody commission. And you know what I'm saying? When he looked at everybody's check, he said, hey, y'all make too much money. He cut everybody commission like, I don't know, 20% or something. But after he cut it, that's what made me realize. Because after he cut it, we got our checks the next month, and we still was caking. So I was like, bro, if he cut it, then. And I literally got up and walked out. It was August 1st, 2008. Last time I ever worked. I just walked the fuck out. No bullshit, bro. All that money. And I said, at that point, I want to be an entrepreneur. That was a hood dream. Wasn't no hood dream. Anybody in my hood talking about being no movie star, no director, nothing like that. We was talking about owning our own companies, mostly barbershops or whatever else we could put together. And I did it. I opened up computer stores, fixing shit like this. You know what I'm saying? And TVs and all type of shit. And I started doing buy, sell, and trade in that store. And people would bring in shit like computers. One day they bring in, I think it was that camera. Is that a Mark II right there?
That is Mark II.
They brought that bitch in, bro. That Mark II right there, and that changed everybody's life. That camera right there. I wrote it in one of my books. That movie, that camera was able to shoot HD video at a continuous rate, and if you light it right, it looked like a movie. And that'll let everybody who couldn't afford real big cameras turn themselves into filmmakers.
Wow.
Right? And I can't believe he got one. That's a testimony. So now fast forward. Now for real, that's what happened, bro. And I'm buying shit. I'm buying computers. I'm buying editing software from people that's turning in, and they just like, okay, I'm already artistic. I already can write. Snap. So when I got to Georgia, I actually got blessed early, real early. One of the blessings was Zaytoven and his team. So I didn't really have to go find, people that was in the industry. It was already close to me. Now,
Gotcha.
they wasn't doing what I was doing, but still I was around that element. You got to be comfortable. You know what I'm saying? So I never felt like an outsider off the rip.
Gotcha.
You feel what I'm saying? But I did choose not to hang with them, though.
I got you.
Because they already had their shit together.
I got you.
And one day I did go with them, and I met a girl there that was an actress. I forget her, the queen. Forgot her name. Q the Queen.
Okay.
Met Q the Queen there. She was an actress, a rapper, but she acted in one of the scenes I had put together, and that was cool. The next time I seen her, She came out to one of my shoots, and she got ready to introduce me to somebody. I'm only in Georgia 3 weeks right now, my nigga.
Oh yeah, you working.
3 weeks.
So
And
was you doing film production?
yeah, I mean, I started shooting in 2012 before I got here
Gotcha.
in New York. I started in New York first with that motherfucking camera, just running around on niggas just shooting, like just trying to get used. So when I got here, she came to another set I was doing, and she got ready to introduce me to her makeup artist. Never told her my name, bro. I'm gonna see how she gonna introduce me because my brand mean everything to me. And she said, "This is man." Oh no, she didn't say man. She said, "This is," and she didn't know my name. She hesitated. She said, "Zay Tobin's cameraman." I said, "I can't hang with them niggas no more." Not in a bad way, cause they're my boy. Like that ain't where I came from.
Yeah.
And I said, cause Nuka, my boy, we like real close. I said, he did his thing, I did my thing, and we work together now. But in the beginning, y'all know, cause when y'all came around me, I was still fresh here.
Yeah.
And you came to the studio, it was just me and that boy.
Yeah, it was just you.
Yeah,
Big old building, and just you.
Yeah, yeah. And
That inspired me too.
Yeah, I mean, it inspired me too. I was like, bro, I'm out here. Sometimes I forgot where I was at. I'm
Yeah.
thinking I'm still at home. I'm in Atlanta, bro. It's crazy. But it was a lot of times where I was eating nothing but granola bars, and from the corner store. You know what I'm saying? Like at nighttime, I look and see how many quarters I got left. It's a true story, bro. I ain't making this up. I sit back and I say, okay, I got 8 quarters left, which I think is $2, right?
Yeah.
So I say, I'm hungry now, nigga. So do I go buy motherfucking 8 granola bars now, or do I wait till tomorrow? So guess what I did? I bought a water bottle, and I would fill it up every morning and put it in the freezer. And then every night when I got hungry, I just drank the water. Hunger go away. Next morning, thank God I did that because I'm still super starving now. And I take the same $2 in the middle of the day, go buy 8 granola bars. It's true story. I did this shit for a month and a half, 2 months, some shit like that. Ate nothing but granola bars, bro. No bread, no vegetables, no nothing. Just water and granola bars. Well, guess what? I ain't never stopped making movies. I ain't never stopped shooting. I ain't never stopped writing. I never stopped doing none of that. Y'all know y'all was there.
Man, but that's that. Well, like me and Carbon was talking last week, man. That's that rare individual.
I agree.
That's that rare individual. And as I do these podcasts and I'm talking and I'm getting my guests to come on, it's like that's what's gonna help me win, because like I'm able to see these rare individuals, to hear these testimonies and stories, and we just sharing what it truly takes. Like I didn't want the show to be about fabrication.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to talk to real entrepreneurs, go-getters, people that are driven and inspired, because just like us, there's people that's out there right now that is looking to get themselves to the next level. And I just believe it's something that we are going to say that's going to encourage them and drive them. That's why creating this platform for CEO Talk was really important to me, because of where I am now, where you at now, and the guests that I've been able to have on my show where they are. And we're still growing, which means we're not sitting here talking a Warren Buffett story about us being worth $150 billion. We are still growing.
Mm-hmm.
So what's the best time to tell our story? Right now.
Right now.
While it's fresh.
While it's fresh, and there's so many opportunities for everybody else. I say you were getting ready to tell a story, or you mentioned Steve Harvey. Steve Harvey is known for, without any fear, telling exactly what he went through.
Yep.
We know what he went through. We also know what he did to get away from that. Told the same jokes for years and all that. But here's the thing. We already know everybody who is successful in the society world anyway had to go through that. Guess what? Even people that's not successful went through it. They decided to go get jobs though.
Yeah.
They decided to say, I don't feel like doing that. I'm not driving down to Atlanta, nigga, with a bubble in my tire or a windshield crack or no license. I had 3 reasons not to go. You know what I'm saying? So we all get to it. I'm using this as an example. We all get there, but you don't get to the other side unless you still, like you said, unless you jump. It's the only way.
It's the only
It's
way.
the only way.
It's the only way.
Unless you Will Smith's kids. Other than that, you have to hit this point.
Yeah.
100%. Yeah. So I think that we should stop with all of that. I'm inspiring to do this. Oh, I want to be this. Bro, you sound crazy. Feel me? Because you're already that. You just didn't jump yet.
You just didn't jump yet.
You didn't jump yet.
Yep. I mean, and that's so true. And with every endeavor that I've ever created, it was just at that point where I just jumped.
Got to.
I just said, okay, this is it. I can't think about it no more. I imagine it anymore. It's got to become a reality, and that I just don't believe you get to the next level until you make that vision a reality. You got to start practicing it, and me doing these interviews, I was like, it's natural for me because it was so innate as to what I wanted to do and what I wanted to accomplish out of being able to talk to people like yourself. It's just natural, I just like super humbled to have you here to be able to share these stories. So yeah, just super humbled to have you, you know what I'm saying, here and sharing that story, and me being able to polish my craft with you during this time right now. So looking at the music, I mean, we're gonna get to music. Looking at the film world, I was watching the news the other day, and I saw that TV has gotten great for the people, but the bottom line has gotten bad for the investors. I saw where they were spending $30 million, $20 million an episode on some of these movies to make TV look good. I've been able to be a part of your films, and then some of the later films that where you are now with your direction, your new investments, camera, your new team, like your level of where we started is like through the roof now.
Yeah.
How do you work those budgets in a new world of streaming and turning content around?
I'm a menace to society, bro.
Okay.
In a sense of, I'm what Hollywood didn't want. I'm the man that they didn't want to figure this shit out.
I got you.
They got surplus. Surplus means that's extra money that they spending on all these movies. They never accounted for a pandemic. They never accounted for the internet. They never accounted for people staying at home, just clicking a button and watching the same movies they spending money to go watch at the theater. So now all that money that y'all been spending, you're not making the same amount of money no more.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
And they
That's
also, they never accounted for Netflix coming in and being a powerhouse. So now you got people, because of that camera again, like myself, not only did I figure out how to shoot and how to write, I figured out how to freak the budgets.
And make good TV.
And make good ass movies for a third, not even a third of what y'all spend on it. I was shooting with, I did a movie, what's called Sebastian, it was about to drop. And I got Darius McCary in it. So I'm shooting with him, and he watching me. And I know what I'm doing. I know exactly what people are going to think when they see me working, right? So he put me to the side. He said, we got done, we rapped. He told me not to tell nobody, bro. We rapped 10 days. And this is a fully packed action film, bro. He put me to the side. He said, nigga, do not tell nobody that we shot this in 10 days. He tell them 16, tell them 15. I knew what he was saying. We want them to believe that it still costs a lot of money to do what you about to do. I'm the minister of society, bro, and I know it. You know what I'm saying? When I met you, you can attest to this. I was kind of quiet. I don't really running my mouth like that because I grew up around dope dealers, and my father wasn't a dope dealer. I had my mom and daddy in the house. Not saying I grew up all fucked up. Yeah. I'm just saying when I went out the porch, this is what was out there.
That was out there in the streets.
That was what out there, and he's all.
'Cause you from where?
Detroit.
Okay.
All smart, brilliant dudes that count money without even looking at it. Right. One thing they taught me that they taught me, not for a money purpose, but for a self purpose. Shut the fuck up. Mm-hmm. Let everybody in the room tell you about themselves. Don't say nothing. Just whatever they say, either agree with it or don't agree with it, but don't say nothing.
Yeah.
I did that until Super Turn. If you jog your memory for a minute, around Super Turn I started talking. Because now at that time I had figured everybody out. I'm in a new city. I can't really talk too much anyway. I might say the wrong shit.
You gotta listen.
I gotta listen. So by the time we got to Super Turn, I already knew everybody.
Yeah, you was Super Turn then.
Yeah, but they didn't know me. All they knew was the dude was, they didn't know nothing about me. That's what I loved, bro. I had so much control. So when Super Turn finally hit, and I knew I had it. I already knew what I was working with. I said, let me start running my mouth now. Because that's what I really do in real life, nigga. Yeah. But you don't know that, though. Because I was shut the fuck up. And I think that's what we have to learn, too. Don't always be the one that run your mouth. Kind of listen and learn.
And that's me. I'm real laid back. I'm real quiet. I'm real observative. But I pay attention.
Me too. That's what I'm saying. And you have to. You can't just come out here. If I would have came out to Atlanta, bro, nigga, can't nobody fuck with me in filmmaking, nigga. And running my mouth like that, nigga, it would have been So it has a lot to do with a lot of different poise, being poised.
I call it being humble.
Being humble is a great word for it,
Mm-hmm.
and strategizing
Yep.
each move.
Yep.
Has a lot. I didn't get to the second part of my blessing when I first got here. Jamal Willett. I did a documentary. I was doing a documentary called Turn. Welcome to the Industry. That's the name of the documentary. Only reason I was doing it is because, I came out here shooting a show called On 10, but it was a movie though. That's what I started with. My whole career was On 10. So I said, you know what? This is gonna take a long time for me to shoot because I was going off the hip with it. Wasn't no budgets or nothing like
Yeah.
that. I was just like putting it together. So I was like, I gotta hurry up and do something else, something real quick, fast, that I could put out. So when people interview me, because a lot of people interview me, I don't even know why it was. I could say, oh, I got this out.
Yeah.
But when T.I. was in it, but he wasn't part of the interview. He was part of some footage that he was talking in, and all these other people was in this documentary. And I was like, damn, I might have this, even with the documentary. So I talked to one of my boys named King Pop, and he was like, I got somebody for you to interview. Because it was hot in Atlanta at this time. I've only been here 3 months.
Yeah. You know, I was out here working with Benzino.
Yeah.
Doing the whole Hip Hop Weekly magazine thing, and Jamal was a blessing to both of us. But go ahead, I want to hear the rest of this right here.
So with that, it was already packed. You know what I'm saying? Bone Thugs and Harmony with Black, what's his name? Big Sean.
Yeah.
Like I'm not interviewing them. These are people that we using as B-roll. Because the whole documentary was kind of like your bridge. It's kind of showing what it takes to get here.
Yeah.
So we have up and coming artists telling their story, but then we have artists that made it was telling their story, and then we used the big rap artists for the background. So they thought it was a good idea to bring this dude named Jamal Willett in. It's foreign to me at the time. I'm like, oh, the dude played Biggie. And now I'm like, I don't see how that's going to help this, though, because this is about rap and shit, right? Then I thought about it, I said, well, he did play Biggie. I guess he could talk about it.
Yeah.
So he came in for the interview, and I put up to the studio, and he was out there. And I'm almost starstruck here. This nigga played Biggie, bro. You know what I'm saying? I'm new to the film world and shit. So I sit down with him or whatever. We in my studio.
Yeah, we back at what, 2014?
Just 14.
The Biggie movie was only what, 4 or 5 years old. So
and he's piping hot.
And that thing was big for 3 or 4 years. So he's still hot.
He's still hot, and plus you don't think you're gonna see this dude.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because he's the best nominated actor, all that stuff, right? So he sit down, and you know how he is. He know who he is. You know what I'm saying?
We know Jamal.
Yeah. So he's sitting back.
AKA Gravy.
And that's when I learned everything. So he's sitting back like this, and this is verbatim almost. He said, "That's cute, dog. This is how it happened." He said, "This is cute, but we should make this a movie." I said, in my mind, I'm like, nigga, I already stopped doing that movie because I couldn't put it together right now. In my mind, I'm saying this. He said, "It make me the main character." Nigga, I looked at him like I'm looking at you, okay. But inside, I'm like, nigga, what? For real? So he was like, yeah, I'm serious. So I had a turn hat on, gave it to him. Nigga, rock, I got the pictures and videos. I got a documentary I'm doing later, I'm drop. And he named the character. He said, call me Rilla. You know what I'm saying? He just started talking or whatever. Then he started telling me his story. He used to be a rapper, and he had Nicki Minaj signed to his label named Gravy. And this, I was mesmerized. That nigga walked out the studio, bro. I took that documentary script, pushed that shit to the goddamn side, bro, and started writing Turn. And never dropped the documentary. Turk on it. Your boy Turk is on it.
Yeah.
I pushed that to the fucking side, bro. Did the movie. Ain't looked back since. So that was nothing but a blessing. You know what I'm saying? And I like to believe that we blessed him too.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because now he doing 100 movies a month.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that's one of the things I wanted to mention on my road.
Yeah, that's dope, man. That's dope. But we both got a blessing from Jamal, man, because I started working with him and ended up getting him on some role plays and a bunch of postings and bookings, and we created a relationship with him too, you know, around that same time. So that was super dope.
Yeah.
And just to be able to be a part of that. So you said you started with On 10 and we're in 2022 and you're still working On 10.
Here's another thing that people inspiring, that word, or I want to be. Don't value money too much. Because once it's gone, and actually it's never here in the first place. So I shot On 10 already. I shot it in 2014. So you asked me about On 10. So when I first started shooting movies in the first place, I actually literally wrote a movie when I was in jail called Karma, 2007, when I wrote it. And I really didn't know what I was going to do. I was just writing. And I called to New York, one of my boys in New York, and told him I was coming to do an album cover shoot. and he misunderstood what I was saying. He thought I was saying video, and he kept saying I was getting upset with this nigga. He just kept saying, and I told him, "Oh, you saying stupid shit?" Then I stopped myself. I said, "Yeah," and that's how On 10 started. So I flew out to New York with a camera and just started shooting. We didn't have no script. We were just, my boy was holding the camera, and I was talking to my other dude from New York, and I just go up to random strangers and start talking to them, and that's how On 10 started.
So what is On 10 actually about? Because I've seen a bunch of different highlights. But
Well, wait a minute now. So the first time it was about a dude from Detroit that was going to New York to take over the drug from an older dude, and I was the main character. I was in it, but I didn't like the way it looked. That's why I said don't value money. Because if you care about your brand like this, you have to care about your brand. You feel what I'm saying? And I always cared about my brand.
Yeah.
Just never, So when I look back at it, it was dope, but it wasn't dope enough. You know what I'm saying? I had to do that with Turn. I didn't have no choice because of what Turn was. It was the name of it was crazy.
Bootstrapped out of the mud.
Yeah.
It was guerrilla shooting.
It was
everything.
It was a film school in itself.
Yep, I learned some stuff.
Yeah, I learned some stuff.
Yeah,
I learned not to trust on goddamn body. That's one of the things. But in myself too, being in myself too. Just because I think I know it, go test what you know, bro. Yeah. Don't go on set because you don't see shit on YouTube and go first time you try it. Yeah. it's on the dollar. You know what I'm saying? So On 10, that's what it was originally about. So when Turn itself caught legs. Because it did. You was there. It went crazy. I couldn't even tell people why everybody was so excited about this goddamn movie. Bro. Yeah. It wasn't no video clip out. It was nothing. It was just everybody was on me. If I say I had an audition, lines was wrapping around the corner, bro. I'm like, damn, this shit fire. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I left On 10 alone. Like, there's no need for me to do it. So now you got the documentary I pushed aside, and I pushed On 10 aside just because of Turn, which was the best movie I ever did. Because now Turn is a franchise, and of course it got me where I'm at now, that one movie.
Gotcha.
So when I tested my skills and realized I can do this film shit for real, now I'm ready to revisit. Not only that, I shot Sebastian before too. I shot Sebastian in 2017. But when I looked at it, I didn't want to put it out. Gotcha. I said, no, I'm straight. I'm talking about, I know the numbers because I had to swallow it. $118 on 10 the first time.
Wow.
From Detroit to here, it was 4 years of shooting or whatever. The documentary really didn't cost me that much money. Turn cost me $1. You know what I'm saying? So when I look back, and Sebastian cost, because I had shot the whole fucking movie, bro. But when I realized where I was at with Super Turn, I said, no way in the fucking world I could drive either one of these. Especially after the fucking premiere of Turn.
Yeah, Super Turn. The Super Turn was, that was crazy too.
What? Was you at the premiere?
Yeah, I didn't make the premiere.
Not Super Turn, the other one, the first one, Turn. I think all y'all was there.
Yeah, we was there because you had it in the theater.
It was in theater. Yeah. Mm-hmm. When I left,
but the final version when it was finally done,
it was okay, right? It was visible. But the one we watched in theater, nobody ain't gonna listen to me. And then I said, bro, it's the back. I was able to say it at the beginning, but I still see people was like, this where he at. This where this nigga at. When I left that theater, bro, I had Super Turn on my brain for the rest of that whole time. I said, I'm about to shit on this nigga.
Yeah, Super Turn.
Shit on him.
But I mean, I first turned. I mean, from that premiere and then when you finally released it, the quality was up. But Super Turn was shot.
Yeah, it was shot with the intention of that because when somebody told me that they could do audio or they could hold a camera or could do this, I had nothing but trust for them because I didn't have $1 for them. So all I could do was trust them. But when I got the shit back, it was like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I was holding camera sometimes, but I wasn't really on the camera like that on Turn. So when I got ready to do Super Turn, I had a mission in mind.
Gotcha.
So when I accomplished that mission, I said, no, I can't go back. So in other words, I scratched 2 full movies. I be hearing people say, man, I shot this scene and I don't want to reshoot it. Nigga, I shot 2 whole fucking movies, bro, that I shot. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And look at the sacrifice now. You feel me?
Yeah.
If I would have dropped on 10, y'all, you wouldn't be interviewing me right now. Yeah. You'd be like, this nigga on some little shit.
Yeah.
So now on 10 is the story is about a dude that is he a younger dude.
Okay.
He like a Black Dexter kind of. And his brother is a gangster. Well, he think he a gangster. He one of the hood gangsters. His father locked up. His mama, played by Lady of Rage, by the way. That was a legendary moment. She was a hard worker, just like, she go to 2 jobs, 3 jobs, whatever. So the son, the main character, he don't really want to be thugged out like that. He want to be CEO.
Okay.
but he used the shit that the hood gave him to accomplish
To
the CEO
accomplish that.
shit. Feel what I'm saying?
Sound like my life.
Sound like my life. You know what I'm saying? I can't obtain lawyer's license, and I can't obtain the stuff that it takes to be a CEO your way. So he said, I'm going to do it this way. And weed is becoming legal, let's do it that way.
Gotcha.
So he sent himself to school for 10 years to be a doctor so he could legally do this with the full intention to get the RICO lifted off his father. And that's what the whole show is about.
Gotcha.
And it's fire. And so, of course, it was rewritten from the first term. I mean, on 10. So the story
Dope
totally
story.
different.
That's a dope storyline.
Yeah, and it's coming together so dope because it's a series. So I can add shit. Like right now, I'm adding 2 scenes on the 30th.
Okay.
Just because I watched the whole, because it's done. But I watched it, I was like, damn, it'd be dope. We had a lawyer in here. So
you just keep building. So how many episodes you gonna have on that one?
first season 6.
First season of 6.
They're
Okay.
already done. I'm just adding these scenes, playing them in there, wrapping it up.
So I'm seeing this new wave like with and I mean I just got so much just as you talking. I see these new waves with Tubi and Netflix and being independent film. It just seems like that's the new way to go for independent filmmakers now. Like that's opened the door for y'all. Can you tell me how that's been and how you're engaging that and what does that entail?
Well, they're not responsible for opening the doors. Canon is.
Okay.
Without the cameras, you can't shoot shit.
Okay.
So they took cameras from 200,000 to 5,000.
Okay.
Niggas hustle up on 5,000.
And that gave you the opportunity to create some good TV.
Yeah. So it also gave other cameras, this one being the main one, to say, well, we can make it better than Canon. So now all these companies coming, $4,000 for a camera that shoot like a real movie camera. That's a cinematic Blackmagic camera. Blackmagic is made by people like me. They designed it, they made it with all the elements to be able to shoot something that looks like a real movie for $4,000.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying? So it's not just Netflix and all them. It's the camera team. You know what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
It's Apple who make laptops cheap enough so you can buy the edit your shit on.
Yeah.
It's Adobe that makes the software.
But we know that
Mm-hmm.
supply and demand drives down costs.
Yeah, 100%.
So wouldn't you say that film directors and film shooters that have the opportunity to create some monetization,
Mm-hmm.
it drove them to of course the camera companies got to make it more affordable, but wouldn't you say that is what maybe drove them to?
Mm-mm. If
They
those
didn't really
motherfuckers right there wouldn't have made that camera, it wouldn't have happened.
It wouldn't have happened.
No, it was
'Cause
too
the
far
guys
out of
couldn't
reach.
afford it.
Yeah, it was too far out of reach. When they made that, and they didn't even make it for that purpose. They just made it to be able to collect videos of mountains and all that shit.
Gotcha.
And somebody figured that we could shoot
Movies
some shit on there.
Well, I'm seeing them do all kinds of stuff with iPhones and stuff.
Yeah, so all the trend followed.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm
Let's
saying?
make the cameras better.
They made the cameras for affordable. Like you could take 10,000 or less and have a whole setup. You know, you see my shit. I had the old one of that
Yeah,
one.
because you had a Black
I had
Magic
a
too,
Black
right?
Magic, the
Okay,
first
so
one.
that's a newer one than what you had.
Yeah, that's the one when they really went up. Was this
Okay.
boy right here? So I had that on the second half of turn. If you
Okay.
remember, I had
Okay,
black
yeah.
cameras in.
I remember saying,
Yeah.
I thought your equipment was expensive.
It was 3. I had 2 cameras, nigga. That's expensive back then, nigga. 4,000 a piece plus the lenses. I was probably at about 70 on my equipment with the computers and all
Yeah,
that shit.
okay, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? If you add it all up. But still, you talking about, nigga, so I know people that shoot a whole movie with that. That's all they need. And one of them.
That's it.
Yeah, so if you look at every element that it takes to make a movie, every company followed the trend. You can get a recorder for $300 to get your audio now. So the push that you're talking about did not come from Netflix. It came from the pandemic. That's where it came from.
Okay.
The shit was there. Don't get me wrong.
No, that's the reason I'm asking, because I know
yeah.
this is your world. I'm just trying to
Yeah.
understand it.
Music follows movies and movies follow music.
Okay.
Just like iTunes and LimeWire and all of that. It was eventually going to be a streaming world anyway. That was coming. But the pandemic said, no, we want it now.
Yeah.
Because you couldn't go. Like, I actually literally felt bad for people I didn't even know. Rappers, singers. They couldn't go concerts. And I know people that real well-known singers that have to do concerts or they don't eat because the expenses at home so high. And our album sales is not driving it. It's the live shows.
Yeah.
So what's his name? D Nice?
Yeah, D Nice.
Started this thing where he started monetizing what he was doing all the time anyway.
Yeah, it went crazy.
It went crazy and streaming.
And when he got Michelle Obama in there, it was over
It
with.
was over and everybody followed. You know what I'm saying? Podcasts blew the fuck up. So then it made people think, okay, it's content, nigga.
It's content.
It's all it is.
It was to the point where, man, I saw Netflix going to get African movies and Chinese, but they ran out of content.
When they first
They
came,
ran out of content, man.
yeah, they had Bollywood and all of that. You know what I'm saying? but they're the same way. Like they even more innovative than we were at the time. The Indians, shoot Africans, they shoot whatever and shoot movies that's watchable, over there.
Yeah.
So now, if you didn't have the technical side of movie making, anybody and their mama can make a movie, because now you got fans watching it who will be entertained by the story.
I got you.
But then you got people like me and probably him watching like, oh shit, they crossed the line. Now I'm technically looking at it.
Yeah.
So now Netflix may make standards different because now they looking at it technical as well.
Yeah, because you got a movie that was half shot,
Right.
but it's got 10 billion streams on it. You know what I'm saying? So now Netflix saying, well, people don't care about that. As long as they can read the English at the bottom of the TV and they can understand the storyline. Because my wife had me watching something the other night, and I was so interested in it, but I know they had a voiceover done, and the film was probably shot in France somewhere. But it was the storyline that had us just watching every episode of it.
Yeah, I mean, I do that too. And they got, like, when I went to film school, I didn't go that long. But when I went, ADR was like the last thing you want to do. And I did it for turn. I did a lot on turn. That's shit. It was terrible. But Netflix is doing it like it's common shit. It's the same dude on every movie.
Yeah.
He get hired to do all their movies. So it's just about content, bro, and that's all it is. You know what I'm saying? If you want to be rich, can I brag a little bit? Can I be a little bit less humble?
Yeah. On this is CEO talk.
This CEO talk. So
that means we CEOs in here and we can talk how we want to talk.
Okay. So look. So when I left on the mission to go become a filmmaker, I was already CEO. I had my record company since 9. So I got a documentary come out that's gonna shock you.
Gotcha.
I had already had that. Did it make me a millionaire? No, but I had it. Even like you said, when you was double dipping, I had a job and I still had this. I had that all the way through. Never let that shit go. When I decided to leave work in 2008, I said, I'm keep the record company. I'm making records. And I'm doing, not making a whole bunch of money, no, but I still kept it. Feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So then when I opened my computer store, I'm still a CEO, my nigga. You feel me? I'm still my own boss, still an entrepreneur and all that. Millionaire? No. Multi-millionaire right now. And I drove to this motherfucker with bubble in the tire, cracked windshield. I had a T3i. I didn't even have that motherfucker yet because I couldn't afford that bitch. But I had T3i and the T2i. Those are real low-end Sony cameras. And I had the Blackmagic you seen me with. And I had a laptop, a few $1,000s in my pocket, and a desktop. That's all I brought with me to Atlanta. And I'm sitting here telling you right now.
Look at you now.
CEO talk. My studio that I have now, I had it for, it's going on 2 years.
Tell me how big that thing is now.
The studio is 20,000 square feet.
Yeah.
Which is, in the film world, still little. You know what I'm saying? But as you know me.
In my world, that's big because I own the 20,000 square foot building. That was what my nightclub was in. So I know how big 20,000 square feet is.
It's big as fuck. I ain't gonna lie.
It's big, man.
But
you ain't gonna dumb that down.
No, I ain't gonna dumb it down, but I'm also not gonna dumb down my next move either.
I got you.
You know what I'm saying? So you know me. You've been around. I've had more than one. I'm not. It's not ever where it's like, okay, now it's like the Mario Brothers. Okay, I'm done with that level. You know what I'm saying?
No, I'm with you. I'm with you.
So we started the process of the next move already. So with that being said, and I hope only CEOs listen to it, because everybody else gonna think something different. But we did an evaluation on the studio with the CPA to get for the paperwork that we're doing to start the next process. That bitch came back with no movies, bro. No movies involved. Just the studio itself with the equipment that's in the studio at $1.2 million, bro. Evaluation of that fucking studio, bro. I said, what the fuck? And it's based off of this, the brand. I think it's basically mostly the brand.
Yeah.
But the equipment and then the revenue that goes through the studio itself.
Gotcha.
That's no movies involved. You see what I'm saying? And that is because I jumped. You know what I'm saying? And that's not a brag to nobody. Because I don't do it for money. If I did it for money, I wouldn't have ate no fucking granola bars, nigga.
Yeah.
I would have stole the camera and went back to motherfucking Detroit and opened my computer store.
Yeah.
Well, actually, I left it open for 6 months, so it was still there. So I could have just went back to the crib. So it's never been about money at all. It's about being a CEO, which are words that I really don't throw around that much. Because some people throw it around and they ain't really CEOs.
It's Chief Executive Officer, man.
That's what it is.
It's the officer of your life. That's how I look at it.
I understand.
And I can wake up every day and work this hard for somebody else, but why should I?
Shouldn't.
That's the difference between CEO talk and somebody that's actually doing it and somebody that's actually talking. We talking and doing it
You're talking
at the same time, man.
Yeah.
So when you say I got 20,000 square feet, I'm not gonna let you dumb that down, man.
I'm not dumbing it down
20, because 20,000. Starting from what was the size of your first building?
You didn't see my first. First one was the bottom of somebody's house. It was
Okay, the second building.
3,000.
Okay, that was Metro Wealth Film was in.
Yeah, that's the one you was at with me.
Yeah,
that was 3,600.
3,600. Okay.
The next one was 1,100. I went down because I was, whatever.
Okay.
And then the next one after that was 8,000.
Okay.
And this one is 20.
Yeah. See, that's what I'm talking about, man.
But see, here's my method of thinking that way. When Black Panther comes, because they have came. When Samuel L. Jackson comes, because he had came to the studio, it's not big enough for that money.
Okay.
It's big enough for my money. Well, I can go in that bitch and lounge out and shoot as many movies as I want. But it's not big enough for Paramount or somebody to come through and be there for 6 months. And they giving you fucking $500,000 and you just go home. That's the next move.
Gotcha.
You see what I'm saying? So it's big, but it ain't big enough for that side of the money.
No, man. I'm telling you, I like just being in this building. I mean, I just saw some. I've been seeing some movie money, but I was able to see some movie money last weekend because they leased out my parking lot, leased out my building for 4 days. So I was able to see some nice movie budget money. BET had shot here for this was one of the locations for 4 days. I saw the director moving around the city, but they had to use my parking lot, they had to use my building for crew, and I was able to see that movie budget money. You know what I mean? Like it's a whole nother animal.
It's a reason why.
There was no hesitation with them wires coming to my bank account.
No, because it ain't their money. If they don't send it, they're not doing their job. They're doing their job by hitting that button for you.
Okay, gotcha.
You know what I'm saying? So they got surplus money. So that surplus that we talk about is never going to go away. That's why the film industry is the best industry to be in.
Gotcha.
But there's a reason why we have a bunch of directors that's dope, that we done seen dope movies for our whole lives. You know what I'm saying? I say I like Madea. I like Madea. That's one of my favorite characters. I've been watching it for years. I'm not going to say here and say that I was influenced by him, of course, by Tyler Perry. He blazed a trail that we all follow, but his trail is not what people think. If somebody wants to be an actor, they think that Tyler Perry blazed a trail. No, he blazed a much bigger trail than that.
Mm-hmm.
His trail, it's the reason why he's worth $1 billion, and other people that's been shooting movies for years is not $1 billion. He don't have any co-production deals. He might have some now, but he's taking his studio in the beginning and shoot. So all that money that they're spending in your spot or my spot or whatever, he just shooting. And content after content after content after content after content.
He don't got that cost, that outside cost.
And he know how to write. I don't care. It's hard to write a bad script, and it doesn't matter. He's writing script after script after script after script in a short amount of time. Then when he's going in and shoot it, he's shooting it in a short amount of time. So that means the faster you do anything, the more money you make.
Yeah, because he's able to get that content out.
And he got so in a month's time, this dude got $20-30 million worth of content. What you say, nigga?
Ready to shot.
Yeah. I was saying the trail that we always talk and brag about for this man is not. That's the one we should pay attention to. What he really, really did for black independent filmmakers, or even white filmmakers, period. Because Hollywood was the only people really able to do that. Feel what I'm saying? There was only one able to. So
he had the studios.
Yeah, all that, and
they shot their stuff right there at Universal. Stayed on location.
They building all of the sets right there.
Right there.
So it wasn't. So it was a point where the actors would get jobs from these people, and they still do. He's not asking for a job for nobody. So even if you don't like his movies, and like I said, I love Madea. The boy is on something. You know what I'm saying? And he sat there at the Oscars, and he said it. While y'all was doing this, I was in Atlanta building an empire. He didn't lie. You see what I'm saying? So here's two good things about this man. The other good thing is you got to be somebody like me to even fill this out, because you have to be a CEO. You have to be an entrepreneur. You have to be somebody that's hungry. I don't want to just, when I first got here, my thing was it's more than a movie. And it's always been that, right? So here's the other thing he did. He also made people pay attention to black directors and movie and black content, period. Exactly. He forced upon the network after network after network, to show after show, no make a difference how good it was. He did it, right? So when it happens to that is, I think in the hallway you said, somebody said earlier, no matter how good you are, how far you make it, you're going to fall one day, right? So that's a little extensive, but at some point somebody's gonna want something different. I don't want to eat turkey every goddamn day.
Yeah.
Give it to me on Thanksgiving.
See, I look at it like this: if it was all the same, the world would be boring.
This is why he changed the game. He's responsible for that. He has the whole world paying attention to us now. It wasn't Ice Cube. It wasn't fucking Spike Lee. It wasn't none of them. It was Tyler Perry, because Tyler Perry was able to do it all himself, right?
Mm-hmm.
And don't get me wrong, Ice Cube and them did their part. Don't get me wrong, but he was the one that did it all in house, doing it exactly like they did.
Yeah, because like Ice Cube was saying, he can't even. I think he was saying, I saw the other day, where he can't even drop another Friday because they own the rights to it. I heard him say something like
This
that.
Ice Cube we talking about. To everything he touched turned to gold, and he can't drop another Friday with the culture wants it. I want it, but somebody else that's not in the culture is stopping him from doing that.
Stopping him from doing that.
Ain't nobody stopping Tyler Perry from doing nothing, no matter what you say. He dropped a movie 2 years ago. The lady wig was different every time we looked at her. And to me, back then, I didn't understand all the way what he was doing yet. So even I was laughing at it. This nigga didn't even say nothing about it. Okay.
Next film.
Exactly. And he dropped it right the next week or some shit, right? So that's the whole point. I know actors, I ain't gonna say nobody's name, actors that's been in the game a long time that act. They have to take these movie roles. They got big names and they Hollywood and all this, but they have to take these roles.
They got to. Now when Tyler called, he like Hollywood Studios when his assistants called now.
Tyler Perry make $90 million at his studio. I just told you mine was worth 1.2. His makes $90,000 a year from those other budgets that's coming in.
You said 90 what?
Million.
90 million?
Yeah, his studio make $90 million a year.
From other people shooting there. So not only is he shooting his own films, people renting out his facility to shoot their movies there.
So is it safe to say he's shooting for free?
Yeah.
He's using their money in his studio to shoot his own movie. And then he got pre-production.
He got one of the biggest studios here, so they got to come there and use.
He has the biggest studio, period, out of everybody.
Oh, his stuff even bigger than California studios.
He has the biggest studio, period. You know what I'm saying? So he's using that $90 million or whatever it may be to fund his own films. So he take a profit of those films, stash it away, and before you know, he worth $1 billion. Wherefore, you get another director whose movies might be better, cold in the motherfucker. They worth $2 million, $3 million.
That's all they worth.
Movies might be better, might be doper.
Cause they don't got that empire.
Yeah, and he didn't build it yesterday. He didn't build it. Say, you know what? Today, I'm about to build this infrastructure. That's what his whole plan was in the fucking beginning. That's what Mann Robinson plan was in the beginning.
Gotcha.
I'm gonna show you something, bro.
Yeah, let me see it, man. Murph Lee at the gate.
Show you something real quick. Oh shit, hold on. Look at this. Oh, this movie title is the wrong one. Let me do the other one. Movie. What the fuck is that? I got some. This is notes that I put together. See when it was made.
Oh wow.
That's
when I met you.
Yep. This is not you won't see in this note where it say, oh, I'm gonna write superintendent, I'm gonna right turn, I'm gonna craft Jamal Willard. This is a structure that I followed to build a film empire. And you see what year I wrote it.
2014.
And I followed it. And I kept it in my phone. This is what I followed.
It's your journal, man. It's your manifest.
It's a step by step, something that I came up with after doing a lot of research before I decided to come out here. And if you see, the first thing, I don't know if it's first thing, third thing, is production house. I always knew I needed one. So this is not saying I'm better than those actors. I'm not saying that at all, by any means.
No,
but what I'm saying is,
but you understand where the true wealth is being in the film industry. You understand what that true wealth is. You know what I'm saying?
It's something that needs to be started. It's not gonna happen tomorrow or 2 years from now. It's something that needs to be a seed needs to be planted early in the whole beginning of the process. And content will remain king no matter if I got this list or not. Because without the content, this list is not, you can't execute it.
Yeah.
So you have to have a proof of concept, I call it.
But it's kind of like me, man. With AMS, it's kind of like when I started AMS, it was 2007, and my whole concept was artist management services, and to create a development platform for talent. And I was on a conference call today with a famed artist, and we was talking about where he's at in his relationships, and all of that don't mean nothing without the proper team marketing execution. So yeah, if you want to get back out there, we could do that, but you got to come use my platform. And he's been amazed at what this platform can do, as long as we can create the right budget. You know what I mean? So I think you have just manifested that, because to see where you are now in 20,000 square foot in the facility, I haven't personally been there, but I gotta come. I told you I was gonna come see it, and I'm gonna make that my bet to come see it right after the holidays. Whenever you can give me a tour of the facility, I definitely want to come see it. Because I spent some time with you at the second building, not the first building, the second building, and I always thought that was a nice building. So I remember when I first started working with you, so we had Metro Wealth Film. So is that still an entity, or did? Because now it's like you cocky now. You know what I'm saying? You like Metro Wealth is that was so nobody knew who Mann Robinson was. So now it's MR now. So now you done got cocky on him.
So Metro Wealth Metro Wealth was Metro used to be my rap name.
Okay.
When I first started.
Okay.
And it was an acronym of Man Eternally Taking Rap Over. That's what Metro was, right?
Okay.
So Wealth came about because we did a beef album against Eminem a long time ago. That's part of my documentary. Some of y'all don't know yet. It's crazy.
Okay.
And somebody in the UK wanted the album. They heard it and they wanted to buy the album, and they wanted to give it to their artist. And I was like, first it sounded good, but then the artist was from the UK, so it was Caucasian or European, whatever. And they had so anyway, they wanted to do just like on the 5 Heartbeats, almost identical. So ironically, the name of the company was Metro Records.
Okay.
That was the name of my company, Metro Records. Wealth wasn't involved.
Okay.
So they did a cease because I said no. So they sent me this email. I still got the email. It's from 2001, nigga. I still got the email. And it said I had to terminate the name. I can't use the name no more. So remember the video Jay-Z Big Pimpin'?
Yeah.
So Jay-Z came on the motherfucking jack, nigga, with the charm on with the Chinese symbol. I thought that shit was fire. You know what I'm saying? I said, that shit fire, bro. I started saying, I got it on my RA word. That's what Metro Wealth was. It stands for wealth. But it was an accident. So when I went to the store and I wanted a dope ass Chinese symbol like Jay-Z did. You know, as I was biting.
Yeah.
So I had a jacket, and I said, put the Chinese symbol right in the middle of that bitch. Then it said Metro Records. That's all it said. And then when they sent me that, I asked the dude, I said, he said, what do you want to change your name to? It's right there on the jacket already. Metro Wealth Records. So I changed it to that. So then when we started doing film, I just put the films on. It's Metro Wealth Films.
Gotcha.
Right? So it was all a move. I did it on purpose. You know what I'm saying? So when I said, okay, I think I'm ready to actually
get outside, start talking.
Go outside. I said, now it's time to change the whole shit to Mann Robinson.
Yeah. That's where the arrogance kicked in.
That's where it kicked in at because
see, I'm there too, man. I've always been quiet behind the scene, and you know, but my partner, man, he's like, I'm glad you finally coming out. So I got my my little PR team to get my discography together, getting my Wikipedia up, getting my Google panel, and really showing like. That's why I hit you up and I was like, yo, man, stamp me. I was in a movie.
Yeah.
I posted the movie up. I can't say I was in a movie if I ain't got a scene. So I like, you know what? Let me post my scene up. And, you know, I just want to be proud of the things that I've done, the people that I've been able to meet, and the networks that I've been able to accomplish, man, because like you say, it's not all about money.
Yeah.
I think networks, true networks, see the value in each other. And although we might break bread with each other, you know, pass some money back and forth, it's the network and that desire for what we're trying to do that actually becomes that next level of the relationship. Because I mean, I hit you up, man, and I was like, man, I don't even know if I'm gonna be able to get my man. He's shooting these films, and I hit your assistant up. My man got an assistant now. I'm like, I was telling my wife, I was like, man, I'm so proud of man. This was talk when I got your message. I told my wife, I said, I'm so proud of him. I was like, do you know he told me to call his assistant? I said, do you know how good that made me feel? But you know, most people be haters. Like, dang, I mean,
they don't understand.
They don't understand, like,
Yeah.
like you got a schedule. You know what I'm saying? So she was able to tell me there was a time conflict, and although our relationship was solid, you still, you know, made it happen. But I respect it. I'm just telling you, you know, because I had that pillow talk with my wife. I was like, man, my man got an assistant, babe. I need you to be my assistant. She said, I wish I would.
I got, you know, I got to be 100% honest with you, bro. I know I owe the universe, and I'm waiting for people like yourself that was there. Greg buying spaghetti one time on set because we didn't have the money, and he let us use his house. Or Shooter realized that it wasn't no food, so he gave me money on the slot so nobody could see me buy everybody food. I'm waiting for these people to call me so I can come back for them and be in their face like they was in my face. And you definitely one of them, bro.
Man, I appreciate
Jamal
it,
and
man.
all of that. So.
Man.
You know, I thought that way too back. You know, somebody just called my sister. I'd be like, bitch, I wouldn't call them no more. I wouldn't give a fuck. They would.
No, I communicated with your assistant and everything.
I know, but I'm saying I understood. Now I understand, because if I wouldn't have did that, I would have got lost in the sauce. I interviewed R. Kelly's wife today. I ran the camera on it. I had another interview at the radio station. Then I had an interview with you, and I had something to do after this. I would have lost all of that.
Yeah, you gotta have. But listen, man, when you are a true CEO and you truly get into your business, I mean that's where it's supposed to be. I mean, I'm just letting you know. It was no loss in the sauce for me. It was true happiness. I'm just like, yo, babe, I need you to be my assistant because I need to keep my schedule from running together. So
I was so happy when you hit me. I was like, okay, cool, yeah.
Man, I appreciate it, man. I'm at the beginning stages of building this CEO talk, man, and it's like I want this story to be told, you know, because it's a part of my testimony too. It's like when I had Ugly Money on here in the Carbon. Like we had history, so like these are the best interviews, the ones we got history with, you know. So, man, I know you're a busy man, and
just trying to get some content.
Man, listen, man, I know you're a busy man, and I would love to have you back, you know, after you know shoot your films and I grow this platform some more. But man, it's been a pleasure having you on my show, and like I appreciate the flowers, but man, we both blooming and blossoming right now, man. Let's just keep sharing the love, and we got some things coming up. I'll make sure I hit you know, your team up so that I can, you know what I'm saying, support that 20,000 square feet, because I know how expensive, you know, that is. We can come over there and show you some love. I know G told me he came over there and shot some stuff with you. So,
G came through
so we definitely want to keep it in the family, and we're growing our brand alongside of yours. So whatever we could do to monetize you, you know, and I know you come support the studio, you do ADR with us, and you show us love. So I mean, and I just try to tell people, man, that's how it's supposed to be, man. But I do want to let you know I appreciate you coming on my show, giving the people some real vital information, man, to this film. My guy been excited the whole time listening to you, because he's an inspiring guy. And I just want to let you know, man, I appreciate you, man.
I appreciate you too, man. I do need a week. Next week sometime we're shooting a scene in the studio for R. Kelly's kids. We got to get them all together making music. Okay. So I want to do it here.
Man, let's like do it. Or the week after. Do it, man. Like, look, man, that'll be on me, man. Blessings. Just set it up. Let's make it happen. Yeah. You got it on camera, man.
You got it on camera. All right, man. This was dope.
Bridges Hip Hop, man. CEO talk, baby.